Hi, can you hear me okay? I'm going to assume everything's fine. Yeah, I've swapped from my laptop to my mobile because for some reason my Wi-Fi in London doesn't match up to my mobile data, so I don't know what's going on there. But thank you, Aaron, for making me very emotional when I'm already very emotional today. I just got home from a residency called Cancerat in Barcelona, which was an incredible collective creative experience. So I'm thinking a lot about that connectivity today, and the way that we can exist together in a way that is artful and mindful, not just humans, but with the world around us. And I think that what I think I'm trying to get at in this book is that we do it with language as well. We have a very capitalist understanding of how language is supposed to work, that linear narrative sense is the only way that we can relate to each other. And I don't think that's the case. And I think if we changed our views around understanding and interconnectivity, we would maybe have a bit of a better chance of not burning the world down. That said, I am going to start with bitter incoherence. I always like starting with this poem because it's kind of like an anti-manifesto, but it sort of gets at my work in a way, I suppose. So, bitter incoherence. Situation astonishment, stupefying, mutually semantic readership. Board text benefiting specific poetics, connotes Terapolis urgency, joy urgency, word urgency, necessitates conceived collective. Meaningful sublime, crucially thought time, repurposing profound, possessive, metaphoric action, temporarily active fabulation, individualism standing, poet considerations, save, paralyzed response, think something complex. Linguistic litter pickers, trash weavers, earth seeming what, spatially complex thing. Coherent symbiosis, temporal losses being human exceptionalist idea, approach thick, useful worlds, words, well, all things. Proximity to progress, opposite language concepts. Play gains things. Welding with, infusing fast-paced inability with slow poets, rhythm relies language. Branch thinking needs reader filaments, reader thought, always. Tradition needs poetics itself, poetic sense being departure, to be hyphenated poet oddkin, to be corruptive history, to not get it. Trouble times exhaust powers, play coherence, capitalist audience, unsustainable. Difficult is language composted, audience of the failing, earth draining fabulation. Text isn't problem practice. What? Narrative models access, drawing stand-in view lines, accessibility alike completion, here being completed becomes non-vertiginous. Sympoietic grammar systems producing trouble space, slow boundaries reaching an outward tentacular dynamic, boredom disciplines, digging terms, one text, technical. A passing paradox becoming with hyphae, reader looped poets, braided holobionts, enacting self-defined navigation, creating collectively beneficial models. Language reaching down, entering critters, a trace in thought time of human involution, channeling codex through the public, involuting thickness. I'm going to read, excuse me, from Dermidex, which is a poem that was kind of a last minute addition to this book. It's a poem that exists as a sound piece, actually, with the musician Sylvia Din and also with Aaron. and Joshua Jones, the poet, as well. I'm not sure when it's coming out, but it's coming out at some point. Dermidex. It's an aggression in parts. First, spatializing expresses ecodermetics behind narrative clots. Gravel plasm impresses crackware, pour diving onsward, make clear, make real, abreast of these incisors. We need no inward contortions, instead side rubbings stay smooth on the catch. The climate vessels dispel spit salt, spitworks machine light, an unfettering swathe which traps tip sound. Rifle breath climbing, an eventuality of extinctions conjure this quickened dialect. Abort genetic filaments. We should care because they're cute. Meanwhile, conflict skin hanging, tracing fringe, scaping, shape shifter, stay faceted, sicken chasm, and delicate witness stay your symbiote drift. Pit your plats against the other, tongue typical or main. She intends on invoking the product without process, but the cables stay knotted. Put in knots in the string. Left pull releases, right pull locks. Stop putting knots in the string. I don't think you feel you're hollow bionic while you're uploading your trash fuck to the discourse. Stop put, coiling your limbs around the crash, scum filtering on dermis. We're all caphonic here, BB, click send. It's the act on the face that caught her attention, rather than any accountability for what she might be secreting. Solidly minusculing beyond detection, we're disintegrating incensed. Every inch, furling away from us in glyphs. Maybe you're right to posit typos as endings. I've had to stop thinking of us as progress. Nothing appears to be going up, but something collects as it drags. I'm kind of just assuming that, okay, great, thanks. Thank you, Nicolette. I'm kind of just doing this on my phone. It's hard to see if I'm even connected. So it's weird. It's like I'm kind of performing the poem to myself twice and assuming that everyone can see me. So I hope you can, and I hope you can hear me, but it seems like you can, so that's great. Okay. I'm going to read Saprotrophic, which started off as a self-published artist book that I made. I just became really obsessed with this idea of accordion books being this thing that starts off really tiny and extends and extends and extends. And I wanted to make something where this like digital collage of mushrooms would like overtake the text and obscure it and kind of destroy the poem in a way. Very conceptual stuff. But I think it was one of the first things that I wrote in this book, like the oldest thing in this book, maybe. Into concentric spread arachnid protrusions, taught on vast fault plains, is ingesting. Panicle lead plexes, for per whim her terms of movement cap filmic pinched dispersibles. Stemming network diversions further, more simply cancellated torpor, across and not into, nor down. Expressing collective excursions of brain abrasive, not to touch foliated ghosts, but hold. Phantasmagorical copper threading, diclinus fink junk, temple to temple, pavilion to pavilion, across. Lovers, scapulae, sternospace, upward masticate, from root to tip, raw meat foley stand-in for mold. overlaid or spread or topped with, enclosed within something complex between organisms, with anther fingers involuting tendrillous connections from sternum to stamen, from screen to screen. Honeycomb shelling essential to growth, the metabolism increases for wires and further wires, the ability to see them, cryptogram, cryptogamy, the U and I in tongue codes in gloaming. Structure exhausts, compresses, balloons, spatializes, saprotrophs root her down from dermis. Tears radial layer, open seepage, phallophyte scaling truncated pillars or laws. To speak polyphyletic is to we or us, where mono is the register, to spore where streamlined. In arrows, thought time suspended, does she appear as seedling? Does she sealing stem? Only saprotrophic nutrition, as in when whales sink their fodder to the seafloor, accumulates excess of things keep sprouting up around us, or within, or stretching mimetic. Ovipositing for sake of proposition, a dare, to be stoic, to be semi-permeable, to shell when the sense retracts. Citizens microclimatize, the extent to which is cellular incomprehension, is server overload, is neural pathology. Interpanical stemming, a quickening, a cluster, a string, expressing phantom lovers on the underside of leaves, overlaid with honeycomb parentheses, commandeering the spill, the structure tears, it ties impossible knots, demands of you speak only in arrows, which pop on the soil, where you accumulate as citizens of mulching mass. Do I have time for one more, Aaron? Could you drop me a thumbs up in the chat if so, because I cannot see you. Okay, thank you. Thanks so much. Thank you so much to Aaron as well, and to Charlie and to Azad for their faith and support and appreciation of my work. It's really special, and I'm very grateful. Although I don't know why Aaron's telling you that he's my friend, because he's not. Light. This is the last poem. Panoptic fractal observing leak sources of light streaming, split reflecting, glitters. This down here is where it is. The phrases are outrunning the grammar. To be thrust upwards at an angle, denoting the original shape at access, is to engage with the potentiality of a mismatched interlock, as the compounds at street level cannot help but overspill. There is no getting back to the point, not without acknowledging a contagion of parts. Press fingertips, coming in at a gradient into striated tissue and wait for the mass to collapse under fascia is one way of facilitating a return. The privacy of this container oscillates its purpose to accommodate each hollow biont body as water seeks its own level. This is ground, where the syntax exerts itself. The pedestrian demarcates its narrative at the intersection of hollowed out ecosystems. They themselves are adaptable, lichen cast over bitumen, unsignposted. The sign is a system. Everything creaking at its parentheses, and where, if unable to find a way through, coils instead into innards. I am is amassing a root structure in absence of unboundaried space. Thank you so much.